Today we're in a place where comedy classics were made for all over the world, where it was the first incorporated borough in the county of Middlesex, with a town hall of enormous stature, and the home of Pitshanger Manor. We're in the queen of the suburbs, Ealing. We're in a lovely part of Ealing. This is Ealing Green, and of course Ealing, like all towns, started off as a village, a small hamlet, and we're in very much the old part of Ealing itself. Look at these houses along here, they show Ealing as it was. And over there we can see Ealing Studios, very famous for the Ealing comedies. And this studio dominated the film industry in the 1940s and 1950s in this country. I even appeared here in an old episode of Z-Cars. All these location vehicles here. They're doing a new BBC production starring John Thor called Kavanagh. Now, if I remember, oh yeah, we're coming to Pitshanger Manor now. And I remember coming here as a youngster. There's Walpole Park just behind, and I actually played pantomime in Ealing at the town hall. Well, we'll get a little look at that. And of course the old gags about Ealing Broadway. Where are you playing? I'm going to be on Broadway next week. What, Ealing Broadway? No, New York. Nice shops though down Ealing Broadway. Used to get the old trolley bus, the 607, from Uxbridge down to Shepherd's Bush, and you used to go straight through Ealing, so Ealing was very much a part of my youth. Oh look, you've got the old Ealing coat of arms here. Because Ealing was the very first borough to be incorporated as a Middlesex borough. That's why you've got the Middlesex coat of arms up there, and that's the borough crest. Gillian,
yeah.
This is very impressive, this entrance here to the manor.
Yes, it is. It was designed by John Soane, who was the major person who introduced neoclassical architecture into England, to be based on the Arch of Constantine in Rome.
Really?
And,
goodness me.
He replicated many of the statues that you see up there. Again, he used those on the Bank of England when he designed that, and he copied much of the same architecture over there.
An unusual name, you know, there's a little football club in Middlesex called Pitshanger. It used to be Pitshanger Dynamos, and they've carried the name along of Pitshanger. And a lot of people, of course, know a place like Hanger Lane, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Is that all associated with the name?
Well, I assume so. Hanger, of course, is an ancient Saxon word for woodlands, and that's where I think Pitshanger comes from. I don't know the Pitts part of it, but the original family who lived here were the Gurnell family, who owned a house much older than this one over here. And you see some of the original house on that side.
Well, let's have a little look round.
1768 part of the house.
What's it got up there? It looks like dining room or something room.
It says reading room.
Oh, reading room. It used to be the library, didn't
yes,
it?
It was
I
the old
knew
library.
it did.
This was
I
the
came,
lending
that's
library,
right.
Yes,
but when did it stop being a library?
In 1984.
Goodness me, shows you how long since I've been here.
Yes, in 1984, a new library was built in the Ealing Broadway shopping centre, and we started the work of restoration on this house. And this was the original George Dance wing, built in 1768. Soane was actually an apprentice to George Dance, and this was the very first job he ever worked on, was this house. Years later, when he wanted a house in the country, he decided to come back and buy this one, and he knocked all the original house down except the dance wing that he had worked on, and he built that part of the house adjoining it, and this became his country home.
Gillian, you love this building, don't you?
Yes, I do indeed. I didn't actually come to the original restoration work. I wasn't here then. I was working for the Arts Council in those days, but I used to come and use the library when this was the original reference library of Ealing. And as we've managed to restore it and uncovered more and more of the original work that was below, it's grown into showing us such a beautiful building that was here, that was hidden for so long behind false ceilings, false walls, partitions, things like that.
Lots of people all having fun there. That's what they do at the BBC, I'm told.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually this has been used a lot for filming. A few years ago we had a Walt Disney film filmed here using the museum, and they transformed it into an Egyptian museum for the occasion with a major exhibition of jewellery. So they claimed with posters outside, and all the public came looking for the jewellery exhibition, but of course it wasn't real, it was only for the film that they were making.
Right. So, bit of a centre for the filming world.
Oh, very much so.
And that's what
yes.
happens, of course, when you keep buildings as they were. They can be used authentically.
That's true.
For the film world, for the television industry, without them having to go to the cost of building sets. They can come to wonderful places here like Pitshanger Manor.
Yes, and of course we've been very fortunate because Pitshanger Manor is almost next door to the studios, which
Yes.
you've already visited. And of course the studios have been there since 1903. So it's a very, very long history of filming.
Now, Gillian, I came in through the entrance round there, which is obviously that's where we saw the Ealing coat of arms.
That's right. That's a modern entrance that was created with the War Memorial after the 1418 war. But this is the original entrance, and Soane would have come here with all his friends, driven through here with his coach, and so would they, through what looks like a triumphal entry. On the right we have here the coachman's cottage.
Oh, that's that there?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the coachman's cottage. And driven through here, you may not have realised, but Soane actually lived mostly in town at Lincoln's Inn Fields. And this was very much his country weekend retreat,
Yes.
where he used to invite all his friends from the literary world and the music world. Turner, the painter, was a great friend of his who lived in Isleworth down the road.
Another part of Middlesex,
Indeed.
yes.
And Turner used to come and spend almost every weekend here and has painted many paintings of the area.
Oh, a lot of Ealing. Yeah.
Well, of Windmill Lane and that sort
yes,
of area.
Yes, I keep telling everybody, you know, sounds like a teacher, I keep telling everybody. What I mean to say is, like, I said to her how this is old Ealing all round here with the
Yes,
trees, and it's
that's
kept its
right.
character,
Oh,
hasn't
very
it?
much so. It's
Which
very
is a
much the
delight.
original village.
I think it's time for Gillian Dare, my guide, and I to go for a stroll through Walpole Park. This is the land that surrounds Pitshanger Manor. And there's that very nice man, Mr. Charles Jones, architect of the Town Hall. I like Ealing Town Hall. It's one of my favourites, along with Staines Town Hall. And that man really made Ealing very much what it is today. You know, in the Times in 1832, an auction of land, Walpole Park, says, a small park of rich pasturage, picturesquely timbered and belted with luxuriant plantations. Today it's not just a recreational area for local residents, it also has its own Walpole Festival, which is followed by the Ealing Jazz Festival, and that's followed by, look, the Town Hall. Now I want you to know that this is the scene of one of my greatest triumphs. In the Victoria Hall, I played Wishy Washy in Aladdin. My thespian upbringing could have said to have begun here, in this hall in Ealing, in the county of Middlesex.